And where we'll start, the All-Star Game. I know all you guys stayed up. I know everybody was fired up the All-Star Game last night. Was this the first ever All-Star swing-off?
Yes.
Okay, it was. Yeah. So the All-Star game ends in a 6-6 tie last night. They go to a home run derby swing-off, and the hero, the guy who wins it for the National League, Kyle Schwarber, unbelievable performance. Kyle Schwarber, the MVP. Now, again, this is me not studying before the show. Maybe somebody has this information. I don't remember the last time a Phillies player was the MVP of the All-Star game. At least
Johnny Callison. I think I read
Callison's
that
the only other one ever.
Okay, there you go. Thank you to Riem Buzz for that
we
info.
Read, Tom. You should try reading.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't. I'm not a big reader. I knew Buzz would be right on that one.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah, but Kyle Schwarber wins the MVP in the swing off, and I thought it was kind of fun. You know, the All-Star game is what it is now. It doesn't mean a whole lot. Not what it used to be. And we'll get into All-Star stuff throughout the course of the show. But Kyle Schwarber ends up being the star. And Kyle Schwarber, I guess that was kind of the exclamation point on what was an incredible first half for Kyle Schwarber. I mean, he hits 30-plus home runs in the first half of the season. And, you know, we're talking during the meeting before the show today. And we're talking about the midday show, and they put together this top 5 idea where we're putting together the top 5 athletes of the last quarter century. And I'd say kind of a revelation from John this morning. John, you would have Kyle Schwarber on your top 5 list. Is that correct?
Well, in light of, holy cow, last night's fireworks, and just let's take a step back and evaluate what Kyle Schwarber really is here. He is the leader of this Phillies team. I think he's trying to take the lead and lead this Phillies clubhouse. Bryce Harper is a superstar, but I think Kyle Schwarber, with everything that he gives back in the community, think of it. You see him everywhere. You see his face doing projects out.
Well, you go into a Wawa, all you see is Kyle Schwarber.
It's incredible the way he gives back, and he came here. Already established in Major League Baseball as a world champion, a guy who had been playing at the highest level, Boston, and then, prior to that, in Chicago for all those years, World Series champion, giving back in that city. I mean, it's too bad that I'm a little jealous that we haven't had him younger in his career, longer for his career, because how much he seems to truly care and give back, and it's genuine. And I appreciate that part of it, but the guy's a good person. The guy is a great, unbelievable swinger of a bat. The quickness, the hand. Eye-hand thing that he has.
Speed.
Bat speed, the hands, the hand quickness, the hand strength, the hand speed, the bat, whatever, the velocity he generates, just the whip. So, man, it is awesome. Anyway, his career is special.
So last night put him on the top 5 list for you.
It has to. I'm not saying he's there. I'm saying he's. I think it's. I was troubled that I'm thinking, holy cow, does he displace Donovan McNabb as my number 5 athlete of the last 25 years? Donovan McNabb was my 5. Kyle Schwarber is my 6. I know that for sure. Should Kyle Schwarber be on my list is the question here. In light of just his awesomeness.
Well,
overall.
let me just stop you right there, John. I'll just start with this. I think you're crazy. I think it's crazy for Kyle Schwarber to be in consideration to be in the top 5. And
why is that? Because it's just 4 years in Philadelphia?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of great athletes over the last 25 years. Kyle Schwarber's great, but Kyle Schwarber wouldn't be on my list. Kyle Schwarber, would probably be the 3rd current Philly that I'd even consider, behind Bryce Harper and Zach Wheeler. But I want to know from people out there today, would any current athlete on any of the teams, would any of them be on your top 5 list of athletes over the last 25 years? And if you want to get in, 215-592-9494, 215-592-9494, because nobody would for me. Like, nobody playing currently on the Phillies, on the Eagles, even coming off that incredible season. My top 5 would be Allen Iverson, Chase Utley, Ryan Howard, Brandon Graham, Brian Dawkins. Nobody currently
Lane,
playing.
He said Lane Johnson. Brandon Graham?
No. Well, Brandon Graham's not active, though. Brandon is on my list, but he did just retire, so I wouldn't have anybody current on my list. What about you, Reed? Do you have anybody currently on your list?
Well, I made a mistake on my list, so hopefully Giulio hasn't published it yet. I was listening to him and Ruben Frank yesterday, and I thought he was kind of building to it towards the end of the week, and I thought it was just my top 5 Eagles of all time. So if he put my list out there, I am not an idiot. I'm going to redo it this morning and do my top 5. I'm seriously considering Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
I just am. He's been to 2 Super Bowls. He's, went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in the first one and was the MVP of the second one. And so I'm and I would have had Donovan on there. Donovan drove me nuts. But I've always thought that he was the greatest quarterback in Eagles history. But I have to consider it.
215-592-9494 if you want to get in with this top 5 quarter century idea the Midday Show putting together. Who would be on your list from the current teams? Now, it hurts me not to put like a Bryce Harper on there, not to put a Zach Wheeler on there, any of the current Eagles, but I can't just let recency bias displace some of the great athletes in the history of this town.
I think I just displaced again while Rhea was talking. I still haven't submitted my list to the midday yet, so
we're going to be kind of workshopping and putting your list together throughout the course of the show.
Man, I think I just removed Lane Johnson from my list. We're talking about do we have any current players on our list? I'm thinking, how did I not include Allen Iverson? Allen Iverson was
exactly
what he changed. He changed so much. He changed the way people looked at basketball in a lot of ways.
It's the lone bright spot for an organization that's been a dumpster fire for 40 years. Like he's the only fond memories that I have of the Sixers. The only time I've seen them forget a finals. The only time I've ever seen them go to a conference finals was in 2001 without Iverson.
Ignited everyone's spirit for basketball. He was the catalyst. So, he's got to be on there somewhere. I do think he has to jump in there, but I don't feel like I can remove Donovan McNabb, even though I'm thinking of removing him for our current player, Kyle Schwarber. What am I to do?
I love Donovan. I don't even have Donovan on my list.
The thing is, if you look at Donovan McNabb and Kyle Schwarber, it's kind of an interesting comparison because Donovan, neither are on my list, but both have kind of almost gotten their team there. Kyle Schwarber is still active, so he still has a chance to actually win with this current Phillies team. But Donovan McNabb, almost similar in that it was, he brought them to the Super Bowl and lost, brought them to 1 million NFC championship games and lost. Won a few. One.
He just
but Kyle Schwarber has helped the Phillies make it to the postseason.
I think Kyle's
so in a way it's similar,
too.
But they just haven't gotten it done yet. And because of that, neither of them, in my opinion, deserve to be on a top 5 quarter century list.
Well, I agree with John in the sense that Donovan McNabb, it was coming out of that era of the 90s Eagles football, where Eagles football was, largely irrelevant. And Donovan and Andy, and that's why I kind of view that era as fondly as I do, because they turned everything around and made this organization relevant. And I really am curious to get the audience's take on this.
I always disagree with that.
Well, I know you're an Andy hater.
Well,
Rhea.
I don't like it. No, what they did was amazing, but they began to become relevant again with Dick Vermeil, and it certainly skyrocketed with Buddy Ryan. And then the sustained success came with Andy. But this notion that the Eagles, arrived with Andy Reid, it's always bothered me.
Well, nationally, I think they kind of did. I don't think the Buddy Ryan era. I get that it was fun for people, but those teams didn't win.
No, they
anything.
didn't win. But I'm talking about the way he tapped into what this fan base was. That was that, and listen, Randall was my favorite quarterback, and he never won.
Right, and
one playoff game.
I'm talking about out of both sides of my mouth a little bit because that's
but
also
Andy
how
and Donovan did not literally birth the Philadelphia Eagles during their.
I get it.
That's my contention.
Right, I get it. But I also look at like a guy like Allen Iverson, and that's why I think he's got to be on my list because he's somebody who really captured the city, captured the emotion of the city, and captured the fan base. But want to know from you to start the show as we're doing the top 5 athletes over the last 25 years. Would any current Philadelphia athlete be on your list? 215-592-9494 if you want to get in. So nobody would be for me. So, John, in the end, who is on your list currently? Current athletes.
Jason Kelce is my number 1. Jalen Hurts is my number 2. Brian Dawkins, number 3. Allen Iverson, number 4. And Donovan McNabb, number 5.
So Jalen Hurts is your only current athlete on the list. I have nobody. Do you have anybody current on the list, Evan?
Currently, I have I have Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson.
Okay, Jalen Hurts and Lane Johnson, and Rhea has Jalen Hurts.
Lane, but I'm like John. I'm workshopping.
Well, you're workshopping.
I'm workshopping
you're
since I got the premise completely wrong.
Yeah.
But right now I have AI, Lane, Jimmy Rollins, and I have the other 2 slots open.
Okay, there you go. So we'll put that together throughout the course of the show. But want to know from you, any current athlete on any of the teams, would they be in your top 5 list of athletes over the last 25 years? You want to get in on that, you're welcome to. 215-592-9494 if you want to get in. Plenty of stuff to get through throughout the course of the show. When we get back, we will talk a little more about the All-Star game that happened last night. We'll hear a little bit from Kyle Schwarber, who did win the MVP award, the MVP of the swing-off, which I got to say, I mean, this is a fun idea. Let's just replace extra innings.
I don't
with
always
the
love
swing
gimmicks,
off in
but I
regular
love
season.
this one.
This is awesome. I mean, could you imagine a late September game at Citizens Bank Park, and you're sending Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper up the plate for a swing-off instead of extra innings?
I think it's cool, too, man.
You distort it with this zombie runner thing anyway. If we're going to, make a mockery of the game, let's at least have some fun with it. So you want to get on that, you're welcome to. 215-592-9494. It's the morning show. Tom Kelly in for Joe DeCamara today. Sports Radio 94 WIP.
Another road game takeover with fans of Philly. Join fans of Philly as we charge into LA for a Monday night showdown. Enjoy airfare, hotel accommodations, an exclusive tailgate party, and game tickets seated with those in bleed green.